You want to see? These are gifts. Do you see what? No. Okay. Oh, Vanessa. See this? The castle here. 2 fingers. See the castle that was given to me by Nathan.
Aww.
Well, hello everyone out there in podcast land. This is the Front Row Network, and this is a special episode of Beyond the Mouse, our Disney-themed show. And we're bringing you, this is the second episode this month. If your mouth is just salivating from the Disney food episode that we did a couple of weeks ago, then this should quench that appetite, because we're going to argue about what is ultimately the best Disney Pixar movie, and we're going to make it. We're going to get through this bracket together. There was a bracket that went around on Facebook not too long ago. It was garbage. We've thrown it out. We are going to start over, and we'll get to that in just a minute after I introduce the other wonderful people that are going to be joining us today. So as I said, my name is Craig. I'm joined by my lovely wife, Anna.
Anna, hi. Everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
And then also co-host of Beyond the Mouse, we have Vanessa Ferguson.
Hello.
And Brett Rutherford.
Hi.
Who was just giving us a tour of all of his Disney things behind him. This is great.
We went live. Oops.
It happens. And the bracketologist himself and his better half are with us as well. So introduce to you Donna Hare and Lou Hare. We went with Donna first because she's more important than you.
No arguments here. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
So Lou, I think you've got a bracket for us. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you. I'm going to pass off the Mickey ears from one to another and let you go here.
I hope they fit. My head is quite large.
I also have a large head.
So yeah, as you mentioned, there was the Disney bracket back in March that broke the internet. It was circulated all over the place. People filled it out. They argued. And of course, brackets are kind of a thing that we like to do here at the Front Row Network. And typically I do them. But someone had already done it, and I looked at it, and it was trash. So
Moana and Frozen in the first round? Are you kidding me? You better not have Moana and Frozen in the first round.
I do not have Moana and Frozen in the first round. So full disclosure, no one here knows what these brackets are just yet except for me. So I will tell you what I did was I did keep all of the movies that were in the original bracket. I didn't sneak something else in there or trade one out, but I did reconfigure and reseed the brackets based on what I think had a little bit more logic than what whoever did the original bracket did. So just to get everybody on the same page, if you haven't heard another bracket podcast, when I put a bracket together, I consider kind of 3 major factors. The cultural impact of the movie when it was first released, box office, awards, critical acclaim, how much of a cultural moment it was. Second, how much of a cultural footprint has it left since it's been released? How the rewatchability, how often is it quoted? How often do people refer to it? And then 3, how representative is it of the category? In this case, since it's a Disney Pixar, I would say it would be the kind of movie where if somebody had never seen a Disney or Pixar movie, you would say, hey, see this, and it would represent the brand the best for you. And I will say the fourth criteria in the case of some certain areas where you'll notice, I tried to, at least in the first round, put matchups together of movies that had some form of connective tissue, some similarities to them, so that it wasn't comparing apples and oranges, at least in the first round. That doesn't always work out, but I think for the most part it does. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to go round and round. I'm going to introduce each matchup. We're gonna get a little bit of a vote from everybody, and then we're gonna see what advances. Now, you might notice there's 6 of us. In the event of a tie, we will defer to the number of total votes cast for that movie in the bracket as all. So hopefully we don't have a tie in the first round, but we'll see. Now, as I mentioned, our panel has not seen this bracket. Are you ready to see them?
Yes.
This
Okay.
is just like would you rather for Disney, right? I don't speak
Face.
sports.
Right. Yeah. So brackets are these things that you put two together and then that one moves on into the next one.
It's a sports ball thing.
Okay.
Sportsy.
So,
yeah. Okay.
all right.
Sports and arts.
Think Air Bud and Mighty Ducks. If they were going up against each other, one of them would win and move on. Okay.
Thank you.
The dog probably couldn't skate.
So we are now sharing. Can you see this?
We can.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay.
We did momentarily.
Okay, so I'm going to keep talking because I think that keeps the bracket up. So what you are looking at is our Pixar bracket. And I'm going to, for the listeners, because this is audio, not visual, I will take you through what I reseeded for our first round bracket. And by the way, these brackets are up right now on our Facebook page. So you can, if you're listening, go to our Facebook page and you can see these visually so you can follow along and play along as you want. So in the first round of the Pixar bracket, we have the number 1 seed of Toy Story against the number 16 seed of A Bug's Life. And then down at the or actually, we'll just go. It's going to face the winner of the number 8 seed Brave versus the number 9 seed Wall-E. Then a 4 versus 13, and this is the toughest matchup. This is the one I'm going to get the most grief about, I think, for putting these two in the first round together. Toy Story 3 versus Toy Story 2.
I get it.
It's going to go up against another franchise in the 5th seed Cars versus the number 12 seed Cars 3. They were both in the original bracket, so why not put them together in the first round? Keeping with that theme, the number 2 seed in the Pixar bracket, Finding Nemo, is going to go up against its sequel, Finding Dory. It's going to face the winner of our 7-10 seed, Up, versus Coco. Down, and then in the lower part of the region, we've got the 3rd seed, The Incredibles, against the number 14 seed of Monsters, Inc. And finally, the number 6 seed, Inside Out, versus the number 11 seed of Ratatouille.
How did Bug's Life do worse than Ratatouille?
I think because Bug's Life tends to be forgotten about when you look at it in terms of cultural. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, that Bug's Life was not necessarily a huge box office hit. It did well, but comparatively speaking, Ratatouille didn't also win Best Picture or Best Animated Feature. Am I correct?
Well, and the thing is, Bug's Life had that whole Deep Impact Armageddon thing going on, so DreamWorks at the same time came out with Ants. And I feel like a lot of people either confused the two or may have preferred one or the other over the other. So I feel like that's one of them that was so early on. I believe it was Pixar's second film after Toy Story. And that in combination with DreamWorks trying to kind of undercut that movie, I just don't think it's kept its place in the cultural in the cultural narrative as the other ones have. My thoughts.
He gets me.
Ratatouille.
But
hey,
okay.
We ate on the Disney Cruise Line at Remy's restaurant, and it was amazing. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I was going to say, I hope it did not have rat. I don't know where this is going.
Okay, since we are talking about A Bug's Life, let's start right off the top with the number 1 seed Toy Story versus the 16 seed A Bug's Life. Let's start, Craig, let's start with your thoughts.
Absolutely, as I plug back in my microphone. This one's pretty easy to me. I mean, Toy Story started it all. I'm sorry, Donna, but it was a movie that revolutionized. I mean, if you look at, I know that his name is kind of a tarnished asset at this point, but John Lasseter brought that film straight to the screen, and really, at the time, Michael Eisner didn't even think it was going to be a big deal. He didn't think that it was going to be this major win for the studio. And obviously you see that a movie that was just tailor-made for merchandising. You've got toys that you're playing with in this movie. You can sell those to little kids. We bought some for our little kid. And Toy Story is so many years removed now. So gotta be Toy Story. Buzz and Woody win the day here.
All right. How about you, Anna?
Oh, I'm for sure Toy Story. Just again for the cultural reference alone, I mean, we see it play out so much stronger now, that many years after. So I'm just hands down Toy Story for me.
Okay, Brett, how about you?
Definitely Toy Story. I think actually you were talking about merchandise. Actually, they weren't Disney wasn't expecting Toy Story to do so well. There was it came out, right before Christmas, and there weren't any tie-in toys available, and that was all about toys. So that wasn't especially forward thinking for Disney. But just to go back to my choice, yes, Toy Story.
All right, Vanessa, how about you?
I will say Toy Story. I really like the attraction, and I recently watched Bug's Life for the first time. Toy Story wins.
Okay, and Donna?
Okay, so while I enjoy Bug's Life better than Ratatouille, I do not like it better than Toy Story. As somebody who, as a child, way before Toy Story, imagined that her toys came to life when she was not in the room, it really hit home. So, Toy Story.
Yep, and that's a clean sweep. I got to go with Toy Story. We'll talk more about Toy Story since it's advancing, so I'll just say a little brief thing about Bug's Life since it's leaving. But I agree. I actually think it's maybe the most underrated Pixar movie for a lot of the reasons you mentioned earlier, Craig, is I do think it kind of gets lost in the sauce with Ants and everything that Pixar's done since there. But I recommend, if you haven't seen it in a while, go back and check it out, because we watched it just a couple of years ago, and it's a delight. It really is, and I think it's worth going back and revisiting. Unfortunately, it's up against the number 1 seed, which is the number 1 seed for a reason. So Toy Story advances 6-0.
No UMBC here.
No, not. I don't think we're going to see that in this round. Okay,
that was a basketball reference, Vanessa.
All right.
I didn't get it either. It's okay.
Right over my head.
Yeah.
Right. Same here.
Okay.
We were actually recording a bracket show when a 16 seed was beating a 1 seed, and it was hilarious to go back and listen to. I was also having too many beers.
Yeah, it derailed us by a good 20 minutes, but fortunately there's actually there is a big game on tonight. There's a game 7 going on in the NBA. But okay. Anyway, so we won't check that out. We're just going to move on to the next matchup. Actually, I'm going to go to the other side of the bracket. We started with a 1 seed. Now let's look at the number 2 seed. So we're going to jump around a little bit here and do Finding Nemo versus its sequel, Finding Dory. I'm interested to see where people fall on this, since Finding Dory is the more recent of the two. But Brett, let's start with you. What are your thoughts?
I believe while Finding Dory strong, and we certainly waited long enough for it, my vote goes with Finding Nemo.
Okay, and Vanessa, how about you?
Samesies. Finding Dory was super cute, but it didn't have I don't know, Finding Nemo was just so new and different that I think that one I think Finding Nemo deserves to take it.
Okay, and Anna, how about you?
I am also Finding Nemo.
All right, and Craig?
I'm going to be a contrarian here. I'm going to talk about Finding Dory because I loved the Sigourney Weaver line that kept coming up. I loved Hank the Septopus. I love a lot of what's going on in that movie. And I also like that it speaks to a particular audience. Pixar has become really good at doing that. And so someone that might be having memory issues, or those might be a bit different, like Dory is, it kind of tells them, hey, you're okay too. And, I like that message that comes through in Finding Dory.
Okay. So Donna, I think I know where your vote's going to go. Go ahead.
Since our 7-year-old will not let me watch Finding Dory, I'm going to have to vote for Finding Nemo.
She watched it once. I got to watch it with her, so I've been able to see it. But for some reason,
she will not let me watch it.
It's not princessy enough, I think, for her.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, I've seen both, and I'll go with Finding Nemo as well, and that's going to do it. That's a 5-1 for Nemo to advance over Dory. All right, let's move on to the 3 seed, The Incredibles, against a number 14 seed, Monsters Inc. And I'll start this one because I will say it pained me to put Monsters Inc. so low at 14. It really did. But when you just look at where the matchups should go, and putting it any higher made no sense with the matchups. So this is a bad draw for Monsters Inc. So I'm going to give it some love because it has maybe my favorite song in the songbook, which is the song between Mike and Sully at the end that my daughter still lets me dance with her to. So for that reason alone, I'm voting for Monsters Inc. It's a sentimental favorite, but I don't know if it's got the strength to beat The Incredibles. What do you think, Vanessa?
I'm going with Monsters Inc. as well. I'm a big fan of Billy Crystal, and I'm not a huge superhero person, so it's Monsters Inc. for me. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
All right. And Brett, how about you?
Well, I'm going to say Incredibles because it's incredible. And stating the obvious. Okay. No, I'm just finding it. I mean, it was. Okay, Craig, I'll let you say your thing about The Incredibles, but
it's like anyway, where my votes go.
Anyway, but yeah, I can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have to wait too long.
Okay, so 3 weeks. All right, so Craig, go ahead. We all know what you're about to say, so go ahead and say it anyway.
The first family of Marvel has never gotten a good movie. The Fantastic Four has never gotten a good movie until Disney Pixar made The Incredibles, because it's a family coming together, and they're showing how all their superpowers can be used for good. And Incredibles 2 looks awesome. I'm really excited about that, and I've got to say, sorry, Sully, but you aren't scary enough to beat out The Incredibles.
All right. And Anna, how about you?
Ooh, I have to go with Monsters, Inc.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What about not having a tie?
I know. But really, though, it's just because, I don't know, I just lend more toward that story, and I was one that definitely had monsters under her bed, so I like that story a lot better.
Did you guys see the fake photo going around a couple of days ago, and it was just called Boo? And it was supposed to be the like a sequel moving forward, since Monsters University is a prequel,
right?
But I got excited for a second because it was like her as an adult or whatever. But it's fake, unfortunately.
All right, so Donna, you are the final vote. It is 3-2 Monsters Inc. What do you think? Do we have an upset, or are we going, or are you going to force a tie?
I don't know. I really like The Incredibles, but I also really like Monsters, Inc.
So just think about that, watching me dance with our daughter to If I Didn't Have You.
It's so sweet.
And I spin her around and we do the thing.
And then vote for The Incredibles.
Is this really fair influencing? I didn't think...
I didn't say anything. If you notice, when I talked about the rules earlier, I said nothing about you can't influence the panel.
Your spouse. Oh, gosh. I didn't want to vote last on this one.
Well, here we are.
Gonna go with Monsters, Inc.
Okay!
Yeah!
No, and we have our first upset of the tournament.
The 2 seed goes down.
The 3 seed. There's a 3 seed, 3 to a 14 seed. Monsters Inc. advances over The Incredibles. All right, and let's look. So next up, this is a tough one. I think this is the toughest one in this round. It is the number 4 seed Toy Story 3 versus the number 13 seed Toy Story 2. So a Toy Story showdown in the first round. Some people are mad at me that this is not these two. One of these movies is going to have to go out in the first round. So Donna, since you got to go last, I'm going to let you go first this time.
I picked Toy Story 3.
All right.
That is by far the best. I cry every time.
Hits you.
All right.
Feels.
Anna, how about you?
Toy Story 3. I'm right there with you. Every single time at the end. Oh, yeah, Toy Story 3.
All right. And Craig?
I have cried in the movie theaters at 2 movies in my life. One was Marley and Me, because we were idiots and we went to go see a movie about a dying dog. And number 2 was Toy Story 3, because it's like your childhood encompassed, and you know, they're going off to college, but they're going to be passed on to another little girl. I mean, everything about it was beautiful. Love Toy Story 3. Hate that they're doing Toy Story 4. Just going to throw it out there.
I'm so deeply conflicted about that because you're right. And we'll talk. I'm voting for Toy Story 3. So I'll talk more about it in later rounds since it's going to advance. Toy Story 2 is great, though. This, talk about rip your heart out scenes. Jesse's backstory montage is so.
When Somebody Loved Me. Hello.
Yeah. So
And
that's my ringtone.
That was my vote.
Toy Story 2 is your vote? 2. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Brett does vote for Toy Story 2, which could factor into the later rounds if we have any more tiebreakers. So Vanessa, what say you? 3 or 2?
Oh, okay. So I must be the only person in the world who had this reaction to Toy Story 3 that when they were like about to go into the fire, I was like, what the heck is going on here? This is not what I expected out of a Disney movie. So, and then apparently, like years later, I talked to all you guys and you're like, oh, it was so sad. I'm like, seriously? But
what kind of torture is this?
What happened? Yeah. Disney, what are you doing? I'm like,
because we all know if there's one thing Disney wouldn't do is kill off all its main characters at the end of a movie.
Right? You never know.
I was very confused, but I will go with for that. I'll go with Toy Story 2. I really like the humor in that movie, along with the Jesse's backstory. So that'll be my vote.
Toys are to be played with.
Yes.
Oh, I have some boxes up here, but anyway. Nope. That's it.
All right. So
Finalmation.
Okay, so Toy Story 3 advances 4-2 over Toy Story 2. It's going to take on the 5-12 seed, the 5th seed Cars versus its threequel, Cars 3. So, full disclosure, Donna and I quit after the first Cars. So it's a bit of a quandary for us because on the one hand, I can't vote for Cars 3 because I've never seen it, but that means I have to vote for Cars, which I didn't particularly care for.
I think the original crafter of this should have put Monsters University instead of Cars 3.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think 2 Monsters Inc. movies and 1 Cars movie could have made it, but they didn't. So I think I can speak for Don on this and say we're just 2 votes for Cars by virtue of not having seen Cars 3.
Yep.
So, Craig, let's start with you. What say you?
Cars 3 is on Netflix currently, and my son is addicted to it. I really have not seen the ending of Cars 3. I've seen about the first hour of it. There's a lot. There's a lot going on in that movie. But I do like I think I see where the story's going, kind of thing. I'll throw out a sympathy vote for the Netflix downloadable right now, Cars 3.
But can you truly vote for something you haven't seen the end of?
Well, sure.
If you dislike its opposition.
So bad? Okay.
So, all right, Anna, how about you?
Well, I will say that I've seen more of Cars 3 than I've seen of Cars 1. So because I've seen more of that, I think I have to go with Cars 3 by default. But to be honest, I don't really care for either.
I love how you two are the inverse of us. The 2 couples. One couple has seen one, and one couple. Between the 4 of us, we make a whole for this.
Right.
We know. Okay, so Brett, have you seen both of these?
Have you seen either movie?
I saw Cars. I've seen Cars and Cars 2. So I would vote for Cars. Okay. On behalf of the hate that I'm feeling towards Cars, no, I'm just like going something that you should consider. Okay, I was a fan of Cars because of the whole Route 66. I know it seemed to be very much a pet project of the head of Pixar at that time, John Lasseter, and it was very much a pet project that there have now been 3, which maybe is kind of a questionable. It's a questionable sort of, shouldn't we just stop? But if you go to Cars Land at Disneyland, after having watched Cars, you will get it and you will enjoy it a lot more.
Awesome.
because it's like it's walking into a Pixar movie, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, can you still hear us? By the way, FYI.
Sure can.
Okay, good, because our screen is frozen on a very great face of Brett, which we should screenshot. But okay, so that gets us down to Vanessa. So what say you, Vanessa? Cars or Cars 3?
I also have not really seen all of Cars.
This is hilarious.
I've not
This is funny.
seen the third one, second one. How many are there? I don't even know. So
3.
I'll just go with the first one.
Yeah, I'd say go with the first one so we don't have a tie on this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll change my vote if we
It's
have
not
a tie.
making me.
Oh, hello.
All right. So, Cars is going to advance. It's moving on. So let's go to the number 6 seed, Inside Out. It is going up against the number 11 seed, Ratatouille. Donna, you tipped your hand earlier about your feelings towards Ratatouille, so I'm going to let you start. What say you in this?
I say Inside Out in this.
Yes. Okay. 100%. Yes. Absolutely.
Beautiful story. Very touching. Another movie that makes you cry.
All right, Brett. What? How about you?
I am a big fan of Ratatouille because it's all about creativity and finding your passion. And yes, I know there's rats in it and there's rats in the title, but actually I was so traumatized I was so traumatized by Toy Story 3 and the way Pixar has a wonderful way of grabbing at your emotions, whether you're a child or an adult, that I did not see Inside Out because I'm scared too. I have it, but I'm just not brave enough to watch it yet.
Fair enough. I understand that, but I encourage you to check it out. It's getting my vote. I'll be honest. I'm with my wife. I thought Ratatouille was fine, but I think for my taste, I think it's a little overhyped. I think it's fine. I just don't think it's within Pixar's finest works. So send your hate tweets to @theFakeLouHair. That's fine.
Let me do that.
Yes, go, please. I could use the follows. But go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
So that's a second vote for Inside Out. How about Vanessa? What do you say?
Well, first of all, I know what Brett's going to be doing on Halloween night. She's going to be under the blanket watching Inside Out. That's going to happen.
Yes, that's what I'll do.
You know what? I like them pretty equally. I'm just going to pick Ratatouille. I just think it's cute, and I want to help Brett out, and I don't know. They're both good. They're equally good. I don't feel swayed one way or the other. I know Craig has really strong feelings about it, so I'm actually a little scared to hear what he's about to say.
Well, let's hear it, Craig.
All right.
In the face.
So,
He is.
well, that's just the sun. So we did have a lovely dinner on board the Disney Dream based all around Ratatouille and Remy's restaurant. Go check it out. However, I have a beef to go at the new bracketologist to say, how in the world is the best Pixar movie ever made, messaging-wise, story, the writing of this movie is so fantastic. The voice acting is so fantastic. Inside Out is, bar none, the best story that Pixar has ever told. And I hope that we get to revisit Riley's brain at some point because, it's just there's so much there for kids to learn about, for adults to learn about. Amy Poehler's amazing in this. I mean, all of the voice actors are amazing. So Inside Out handily should be beating Ratatouille. They must just be having a down night.
All right, Anna, what say you?
Oh, so I'm really excited for the Ratatouille ride coming to Walt Disney World. And I really enjoy watching Ratatouille and I enjoy the story, but my vote is for Inside Out. because it's just such a good story, and I'm so glad that that story is finally being told.
Brett, how in the world have you not seen that movie?
What, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm scared to.
Well, it's not. I mean, you just
I'm
cried
like
a little
going-
bit.
You'll just cry a little bit.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm like going. I go back to Toy Story 3, and I'm like looking at them all, looking at each other, like, this is it. This is it.
Brett,
This is
it'll
it.
be Brett, it'll be a core memory, and after
Okay,
you watch
yes,
it, you'll
I
get
know.
that.
Okay, but having knowing just a little bit about Inside Out, I saw maybe an inspiration at Epcot in Wonders of Life called Cranium Command.
Nice.
So, do you remember that? Did you ever see Cranium Command?
Yeah.
Anyone? Okay.
Sorry.
I saw the test version. Okay, it's on my list.
All right. So moving on. That was yes, it was a 6 seed. By the way, everything before Inside Out at least spawned at least one sequel. So at least if we're talking culturally, I'm just gonna say, Greg, but we'll talk more about it as we move on. Next up, the number 7 seed, Up, versus a 10 seed, the newest addition on this list, Coco. Very curious to see where this is going to go. Vanessa, let's start with you this time.
No. No. Okay. I really, really love Up, and I think you're all gonna pick Up. So I'm gonna. What?
No,
Brett
nothing.
is sending me subliminal messages with his head nodding. Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, this is so tough. I really, really love Up. I don't think anything beats that first scene. But I
Remember me.
Exactly. I really, really love Coco. I mean, it's a musical. How can I not pick the musical? It's so good. And the animation, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I mean, I've probably watched that movie maybe 50 times already since getting it on DVD. So I'm going to go with Coco.
All right. Brett, I suspect you're heading in that same direction.
I'm going, my tells, do I have tells?
You do.
Yes, Coco. For so many reasons. Yeah.
All right. And Donna, how about you?
It's been so long since we've seen Up. I'm having a hard time remembering how it ended.
I have a theory on that. If you want me, if this will influence your.
Spoiler alert, they landed. Oh.
8 minutes of Up. And that opening sequence is as good as anything Pixar has ever done. But other than the dog, I don't know if you can. I don't know if people. I don't think the rest of the movie is. I think the rest of the movie is good, but I don't know if it's spectacularly memorable outside of the dog. So for that reason, I'm voting for Coco. And so does that help?
Well, the thing I remember most about Up is watching it. We were maybe 2 months pregnant, and you look at me and you're like, "It's us!" And then shortly after saying that, she dies in childbirth, right? So
I didn't know. I swear I didn't know.
This is adorable.
So I guess I remember Coco all the way through, so I'm going to go with Coco.
So that is 4-0. So I'm going to turn it to the McFarlanes. Your votes don't necessarily count unless we get to ties later. So what say you? Up or Coco?
So I was totally oh my gosh, my microphone fell apart.
It's okay. They can still hear.
I was totally going for Up 100%. And then hearing all you talk about it completely changed my mind, and I am now Coco. Yeah. It is. I do think it's a better movie.
Okay, how about you, Craig?
Remember me. No, but really, like, you nailed it, Lou. Up is wonderful for the first 8 minutes if you want to have your heart ripped out with an ice cream scooper. But outside of that, like, it's the movie goes in a weird direction. I love my favorite scene of Up. I will say, I'll give it this. Not the sad scenes, but when he's looking through the adventure book and she has all the pictures of their life together in it. That that's what gets me in that movie, not so much the death at the beginning.
Mhm.
So that's a beautiful scene. I absolutely love that scene. However, I just really enjoy the story of Coco, and I think there's a lot of places they could go with it. Visually, of course, it came out. I think Up was probably in 2009, 2010ish, and so of course, visually, Coco is just absolutely stunning. And I love the story behind it. I think that there's a lot of places they can go with it, a lot of potential theming that could go into the Disney parks straight from Coco. So I'm going to go with that too. That's a clean sweep.
That's a clean sweep and an upset. A 10 over a 7. The newcomer, Coco, takes down Up. All right, and this is our last matchup in the opening round for the Pixar. It's an 8 versus 9, so it's a squeaker. It is Brave, the 8 seed, versus WALL-E, the number 9 seed. Brett, let's start with you on this one.
WALL-E. WALL-E.
Craig, would you like to go next?
If it's time for shade, I'm going to be throwing plenty.
Go for it.
No.
This is what we do.
No, I'm like going, put on your Sunday. Hello, musical theater lovers.
That's
put
true.
on your Sunday clothes.
If you're into My Fair Lady.
I'm sorry, what was that, Craig?
That would be, excuse me, Craig. That would be Hello, Dolly.
Yes, it's Hello, Dolly, not My Fair
Hello,
Lady.
Dolly.
It's one of those.
Craig
I'm like
Craig
going,
has just been disqualified.
I'm like going,
His votes have all been nulled.
Turn in your muni.
Damn it, I'm on this with like all theater majors. What happened?
Yeah. Okay.
What happened?
All right. So Craig, can you regain your credibility by giving us a decent argument for Brave or WALL-E?
Well, here's the deal. So I don't get WALL-E as much as other people do. I do enjoy it. I like that it has limited dialogue. It is prophetic. I like that part of it. But I got to interview an Academy Award-winning director. That director was Brenda Chapman, and she directed Brave. And so for friend of the pod, Brenda Chapman, I am going to say that Brave, I love the story. And what I like about it is when I talk to Brenda, because I got to talk to her. When I talked to Brenda, she said that she came up with this story from the stories that she read to her daughter. So it's very personal to her. And I've got to say, it's an 8 seed for a reason. I'm going to go with Brave over. It won Best Animated Feature that year. And it's, it even beat out Wreck-It Ralph, which I think was a slightly controversial decision, but I'm going to go with Brave.
Okay.
Such a brave choice.
I think we have our new drinking game, too. Every time Craig was Brendan Chapman, we took it away.
Hold on. I'm going to get a little broom and sweep up all these names you just dropped, Craig. All right. Anna, how about you?
Oh, gosh. I am so split on this one. I think as torn as I am, I know. As torn as I am, I have to go with WALL-E. They're both right there for me, but for some reason, right now in the moment, WALL-E's taking
who's
it.
not getting their invite to the Lincoln Film
Festival. All right. So I'm gonna vote for. I'm gonna tie it up. I'm gonna go with Brave. As the daughter of a small. As a parent, the parent of a small daughter. Excuse me. I swear I've only had one beer, folks. As
he started the drinking game early.
As it's Memorial Day weekend. What do you want to do? As the father of a small child who adores princesses, I can't not vote for the one princess movie in the Pixar region to at least move forward. But beyond that, I love Brave. I think it's a great movie with a great message. It gets my vote. How about you, Donna?
I'm going to, of course, vote for Brave. A strong female lead without singing and dancing and magical like wood creatures that come to save her. Brave.
All right. So Vanessa, it is down to you. What say you?
Well, first of all, WALL-E is storytelling with minimal speaking. So just the fact they were able to make that into a whole movie makes it my top pick. But when I saw Brave in the theater, I remember sitting there going, at the ending going, what the heck was that? They had a girl who wanted to follow her way, and then the mom said no, and then the moral of the story is everyone's right. I'm like, no, the mom's wrong. She's all wrong, but I might just have some mommy issues that I'm just bringing to the surface. So for that, I have to go with WALL-E.
Oh my God, we got a tie.
So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first tie. We have Brave and WALL-E tied at 3. Of course, it's the 8-9 seed. So
I'm gonna that the Hares made it, so we should just go with their vote.
I think that's a really good advice. Sound reasoning.
You know, as much.
Should we flip a coin?
Yeah.
Let's flip a coin.
We will flip a coin. Does anybody have a Disney themed coin with them nearby?
Let me go get one. No. Let me grab something.
Does anybody still use cash?
I've got a Frozen DVD.
I don't think
can we flip a credit card?
I have a D23 Expo.
I say flip.
Drink.
Flip the Frozen.
Okay, if it's so if it's the front, it's Brave, and if it's the back, it's WALL-E.
Okay, make sure you get a good rotation on it.
Okay, I'm not even gonna look.
Oh, did that even rotate? It looked like it just fell.
I'll do it again.
I think it went just straight down.
How do I did it this way. Maybe I should do it this way. Okay.
Yeah, it's all in the wrist.
Okay, it definitely. The back. It's WALL-E.
All right.
Sorry, Brenda.
So WALL-E in a 3-3 tie, the very scientific tiebreaker advantage. Okay, so let's go. We got to complete the first round here. Let's bring up our Disney animation bracket.
Oh gosh.
As we say farewell to Pixar for a moment, but we're gonna bring up, like I said, you can find this on our website on our Facebook page right now, and you will see this. Maybe can you see this?
Not yet.
That would be a no.
Nah, it would be a no. Okay, we can edit this part out. My screen share is not screen sharing. Give me a second here. Screen sharing failed to start. Okay. So this is an obvious edit. So just pretend like you can see these. Oh, there we go. Let me see.
Oh.
Ooh, infinity and beyond.
There it is. I see it now.
And there you see our Disney bracket, which you can find on our Facebook page.
Ooh.
So here they are. The number 1 seed, The Lion King. See, the last bracket, while it was trash, it did get one thing right. The Lion King is a number 1 seed. It's going to go up against a 16 seed, Hercules. It's going to face off against the 8 versus 9 seed, Tangled, versus Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. The number 4 seed, The Little Mermaid, against the 13 seed, Mulan. The number 5 seed, Aladdin, versus the 12 seed, Pocahontas. Over on the other side of the bracket, the number 2 seed, Beauty and the Beast, versus the number 15 seed, Tarzan. The number 7 seed, Zootopia, versus the number 10 seed, Princess and the Frog. The number 3 seed, Frozen, against the number 14 seed, Big Hero 6. And wrapping it up, the number 6 seed, Moana, taking on the number 11 seed, Lilo and Stitch. See, I did not put Frozen and Moana in the first round.
All right,
against
so you put them in the second round against
I
each
put
other.
them possibly in the second round, but hey,
I get it.
That's at least the top 8 of this bracket, as opposed to making one of them go away early. So
That's true.
let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the beginning of it. The number 1 seed, The Lion King, versus number 16 seed, Hercules. Brett, what say you?
Hercules.
What?
Do you want to know why? No,
Yes,
really.
I would love to know why. Yes.
No, Hercules. I understand the appeal of The Lion King. I do, but Hercules just celebrated its 20th anniversary. I'm going to say it, yes. And I went to a panel at D23 Expo a year ago, and it was wonderful. And I think that I also think that it has staying power. I'm a big fan. I like it better, honestly. I like it better than The Lion King.
Okay, Vanessa, I saw some very visceral reactions from you. Do you have something?
I'm just shook, actually.
For those new to the pod, by the way, the Beyond the Mouse, drinking game is whenever Brett says D23 Expo, we drink. So that's just so you know.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Lion King. Elton John did the soundtrack, and I thought it was really awesome, and the storyline's great. Lion King it is.
All right. Donna, how about you?
The circle of life.
How is it you have sung more on these podcasts than I ever have? You will never sing in public, and yet get her in front of a podcast mic, and she turns into Bette Midler.
She knows that no one watches. It's fine.
All right. So
I think it's because quite often I'm singing to our child the circle of life.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make it 3 for The Lion King as well. I don't even, Hercules is, it's fine. It's okay. It's not The Lion King. Craig, Anna, how about you?
Well, we just did Hercules on Beyond the Mouse, and I went back and watched it. It's interesting because when I saw this originally, it wasn't seeded this way, but Hercules advanced to the finals in a lot of brackets for people that were like 5 to 6 years younger than me, and I think that maybe I just was too old for it at the time. I don't know. Something happened.
I think
Lion King. Yeah, Lion King is the Lion King, though. I mean, it is the Lion King, so it wins.
Okay. All right. Anna, how about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm very much the Lion King.
Yeah. Okay. I will say we did get one good thing out of Hercules in addition to the movie, and that was the McDonald's tie-in that featured the triple Big Mac. Or the triple cheeseburger and the double Big Mac.
I think you just offended Donna.
Not the only one.
This is well-worn history, but for those on the pod, we met in graduate school, and if we had met at any other previous time in my life, we would not be married today. It's for reasons like that. She would have seen me with my double Big Mac and triple cheeseburger.
Your triple Big Mac.
Triple Big, and it would have been done. Okay, but so Lion King advances. Let's move on to the number 2 seed, Beauty and the Beast versus Tarzan. Any controversial opinions here? Let me just say this: is anybody for the sake of clarity, would anybody like to make a case for Tarzan?
I will only say that when I got to interview the director Kevin Lima, he was a very nice guy. But he happens to be married to Brenda Chapman. Anyway, Beauty and the Beast should win this.
Okay, is there anybody out there who's going to vote for Tarzan?
I just had a cigarette and a drink with that.
Can we just acknowledge, though, that Phil Collins does the music for this movie, and it's super good.
And the song "You'll Be in My Heart" is very special.
Very good.
It'll be in my heart for a long time.
Movie, but I'm still not going to give it my vote.
Okay,
but it's still a favorite.
I'm still mad that it beat out "Blame Canada" from South Park for best song that year.
Canada.
So I'm for that reason, it's not getting my vote either. Okay, so we're gonna move on real quick because we've got a lot to get through. So let's go now to the 3 seed Frozen, the $1 billion behemoth versus the number 14 seed Big Hero 6. Craig, let's start with you.
This is tough. Frozen has a great soundtrack, wonderful. But the Lopez Andersons did an amazing job with everything. Of course, Let It Go became like a cultural phenomenon. It's going to probably advance, but I will say that after watching Big Hero 6 this morning with my son, it's a great film, and I love the superhero genre. So I like it a lot. There's a lot that they can go back to in San Francisco, and I really hope that they do because I really enjoy Big Hero 6. I'm going to vote for it.
It's an animated series on one of the Disney television channels now.
Ah, nice.
Or
that's good to know.
Or it's going to be very soon. But
I think that's a Disney XD channel. I think it's a show there. Yeah.
I think
If it
they also
hasn't
have
been.
some graphic novels too.
Yeah. So there's a whole universe they've created with that. So Brett, is it getting your vote though?
No. Against Frozen? No. Frozen is everything.
Frozen is everything.
All right. Donna, how about you?
Despite the fact that we had to listen to the soundtrack on an endless loop and everything was frozen in our house for a lifetime, I'm still going to vote for Frozen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm stuck in that loop as well. Yeah, our daughter, I don't think she would divorce us if a 7-year-old can get emancipated. She would if she found out we voted for Big Hero 6 over Frozen. So I fear my child too much. I'm voting for Frozen. Vanessa, how about you?
I'm voting for Frozen. They made a joke out of the word impaled, so that's fine.
All right, and Anna, how about you?
Well, other than it being Princess Anna instead of Princess Anna, I will still go with Frozen.
All right. Frozen moves on. Let's take a look at the number 4 seed, The Little Mermaid, versus the number 13 seed, Mulan. Vanessa, let's start with you on this one.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to have a very unpopular opinion, I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to go with Mulan. I just like the story behind her and how she can kind of overcome everything and be just as strong as one of the guys. Plus, some of the songs in that movie are really catchy. So, Mulan.
All right, Brett, how about you?
The Little Mermaid. It was the beginning of the Disney Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Craig, how about you?
And I have a strong personal affinity for Ursula.
I got to agree.
There's another
Brett,
story there, but anyway.
This is Katzenberg and Eisner basically reformatting the Disney Animation Studios, and from there we get such classics as Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Aladdin, all of those. It's got to be Little Mermaid. It started it all, and without that, we wouldn't have had that amazing run of films in the 90s.
Anna?
I've been such a big Little Mermaid fan since it came out, so I have to go Little Mermaid.
All right, and Donna?
Little Mermaid all the way.
Yeah, once again, I love the message of Mulan, but I think I like the message of it more than the actual movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love me some Eddie Murphy, which makes it a little tough.
And Donny Osmond.
I do love me some Eddie Murphy.
I'll just sop you up with a biscuit.
And I will also say, because of its problematic sequel, Mulan 2, where they replace Eddie, where they couldn't get Eddie Murphy, so they get a white guy to do an Eddie Murphy voice to play.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yikes.
Mulan 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. You're lucky you have a son and not a daughter, because you would be knee deep
all the sequels
in direct to DVD. Like you should. We'll do a crossover Guilty Pleasures Beyond the Mouse, focusing on the direct to DVD. Cinderella 2, Cinderella 3, Mulan 2, Tarzan 2, Kronk's New Groove. We see them all.
I don't want to watch these. Please don't make me.
Little Mermaid even has a prequel.
Oh yeah, there's a Little Mermaid sequel and prequel.
I feel like we should get Michael Eisner on and make him watch these with
himself.
us. And explain yourself, Michael Eisner.
Oh yeah, no, we are in the shameless cash grab phase of Disney when you talk direct to video sequels. But anyway, speaking of Little Mermaid, it advances. It's going on. Moving over to the number 5 seed. You mentioned Little Mermaid, the movie that came right after The Little Mermaid, Aladdin versus Pocahontas. Let's start with Anna on this one.
I am very much Aladdin. Pocahontas, I don't know. I like Colors of the Wind, but beyond that, it's just not for me.
All right, and Craig?
It's got to be Aladdin. Just that one's simple for me.
Yep. Vanessa?
Aladdin, Robin Williams. Hello. That's all that needs to be said.
Mm-hmm. Brett?
Aladdin. But I do enjoy Pocahontas. I enjoy me a Pocahontas.
I'm gonna go with Aladdin. And while we're on the topic of sequels, Pocahontas has a sequel as well.
Yes,
Pocahontas too.
Pocahontas too.
I don't even know how that works.
It's when she goes to England, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But yeah.
Her
Does she
song-
find the blue corn moon? Or
No, she sings "Where Do I Go From Here?" It plays on Pandora all the time. I just die every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Well, go Judy Kuhn.
I think you mentioned it earlier, Anna. The Colors of the Wind is a great song, but I think it's the best thing about that movie.
Yeah.
It's again, there's nothing I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think when compared to Aladdin, there's any real conversation. So that's a clean sweep for Aladdin, 6-0 over Pocahontas. Moving over to the number 6 seed, Moana versus the 11 seed, Lilo and Stitch. Brett, we'll start with you.
Oh, Moana. Would you like to know why? Let's see. Well, actually, going into Moana, out of kind of this Disney loyalty, and I always want to see what is new. But I was really kind of surprised in a really nice way, and the animation is amazing. It's water, and it's amazing.
All right, and Vanessa, what say you?
My vote is for Moana. Yeah, Moana.
All right, Anna.
Moana. I love the message, and it's a beautiful film. It has great music. Moana.
Okay. Craig.
You're welcome. Moana.
Yeah, any movie with The Rock has to get at least out of the one vote out of me. So
The
yeah,
Tooth Fairy.
It somehow did not make this bracket. When we do a rock,
It's not animated. That's
we'll do a rock themed guilty pleasures poll and put that up on there.
No, go ahead. Sorry. That would be after. You can feature The Rock after Jungle Cruise, right, Vanessa?
Yes! Jungle Cruise, backside of water.
We're in Disney here, folks.
Okay. All right. So, Donna, are you gonna make it a clean sweep for Moana?
Most definitely. Wonderful music.
All right. So Moana's going to move on for that famed Frozen battle, which has a little bit more prestige in the Sweet 16 than it does in the initial round. So moving over to the number 7 seed, Zootopia versus a 10 seed, Princess and the Frog. Let's start with the McFarlanes.
Yeah, don't even talk to Brett about Zootopia because he just doesn't get it, okay? Zootopia is a wonderful film. He's going to say that it's something akin to a DreamWorks production, but it is such a good film. It's another world that I would love to explore longer. So, Brett, I'm putting you on Front Street. Zootopia is a good movie, all right? Voting for
That is
Zootopia.
Yes.
baby, because just wait.
Okay. While you compose yourself, Brett, put your thoughts together. Anna, what's your vote?
Oh, I'm Zootopia all the way. I just got a kick out of that movie. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, Brett, the floor is yours.
I'm like going. Let's see. It's who are we talking about? Let's see.
Zootopia versus Princess and the Frog.
Okay. My vote would be for Princess and the Frog.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes. It featured the Firehouse 5+1. Anyway, lots of Disney cultural references, Disney culture references in that. It was better. Don't get me started on everything that is wrong, or at least heavy-handed. Heavy-handed. I'm like going, I get message movies, but you almost think that Steven Spielberg directed that. I'm like going, I get it. Anyway.
I almost want this to get too advanced just so we can continue to hear Brett just drop little nuggets of love. He just like, I want to.
It was fine. It was fine, but it was too heavy-handed.
Okay.
It was too self-aware. It was so self-aware.
All right, Vanessa, what say you?
I'm saying Princess and the Frog. They brought us a Cajun princess, Cajun characters. I love it. And it's so funny. It really is a really good movie.
All right, Donna?
As Zootopia is yet a second movie my daughter will not let me watch, I will vote for Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. So, yes, I took our daughter to see Zootopia in the theater, and she was 6 or 5 at the time. And I think Zootopia is a little maybe more for like your 10 and ups. It was a little too intense for her. It was a little scary. I was a bad parent because she wanted to leave the theater and I wouldn't let her because we paid for these movie tickets. Damn it. So she just faced me. But when Shakira sings at the end, she thought it was a great movie. That said, she doesn't ever want to watch it again because there's no princesses. And because of that, because I've seen Princess and the Frog more, it's getting my vote as well. I think Princess and the Frog is a sadly underrated. Really underrated. Really underrated for it's such a good soundtrack. It's maybe one of my
where you come from.
One of my favorite bell to bell soundtracks. I just love that style of music anyway. So I love Tiana is a great princess. I love the message behind it. I think Zootopia has a great message behind it. I part company with Brett. I don't think it's as heavy-handed as he thinks it is, but I can see where some people would say that. But I think it's good. But Princess and the Frog does it, gets my vote, and it wins. It's another 10. It's another 10-7 upset. 4-2. Princess and the Frog advances. You are crestfallen, Craig.
Craig. I'm so sad.
Maybe I'll enjoy it more when we go on the Disney Wonder, the other cruise line ship, because they do have Tiana's Place there, and so we got to check it out. Yeah, maybe I'll enjoy it more.
Get some gumbo.
Right. So
not more
closing out the first round is the matchup of movies. You know, I mentioned we had connective tissue between a lot of these matchups. This is the one matchup I can say there is absolutely no connective tissue. The number 8 seed Tangled versus the number 9 seed The Nightmare Before Christmas. Sidebar, I don't know what these people were thinking putting The Nightmare Before Christmas in this bracket.
It's so different.
It's such an outlier. Like, you could put Wreck-It Ralph in here instead.
Mm-hmm. Was it originally paired with Zootopia?
I don't remember what the original pairing was, but I just don't even think it's not even like it's stop motion animated, so it's not even got like it's anyway.
Pull in a classic Disney. I mean, they have no classic Disney at all. And I get that maybe they're trying to go modern. I don't know. But
I think you could go with a 64 bracket and throw in some classic Disney because the modern Disney is so rich. You'd kind of be probably stretching to get to 64. But that said, I'm voting for Tangled in this because much like Princess and the Frog, I think this is another really underrated movie. And I would love, I'm gonna lobby to get on a Beyond the Mouse later to break down why I like this movie. It's actually, I think, my favorite princess movie of the modern era. Because I think it does everything well, and it's so funny, and I like the soundtrack, and it's beautifully animated. I don't think people talk about how gorgeous the animation is in that movie. So I'm voting for Tangled. Vanessa, let's go to you.
Tangled. Nightmare Before Christmas is very scary. No.
All right, Brett, how about you?
Tangled.
All right.
This Halloween is awfully good. It's good. There's lots of good park material in Nightmare Before Christmas. Ooh, and the overlay at Disneyland is really cool. A Haunted Mansion, sorry.
All right, Donna, how about you?
Tangled.
All right, we have once again nullified the McFarland vote, but what say the two of you?
Oh, I'm Tangled. I do enjoy Nightmare Before Christmas, but Tangled for sure.
And Craig?
Yeah, I mean, Tangled is a wonderful film, and I'm glad that Lou spoke so much on it that now we don't have to have him on Beyond the Mouse. It was good.
Aw.
No, I'm kidding. Of course we want you on.
I
talk
swear
about
I swear too
Mandalore.
much for your Disney podcast. I need to be relegated to my guilty pleasures.
Jeremy has said
E
Jeremy
rating.
has said continuously that Guilty Pleasures is our best show. he's like it is the best show to listen to. And as a rival host, I hope to meet you at your level someday, Mr. Hare.
All right, so there we go. We have closed out the first round, and so.
Woo.
Here we go. So we are going to, unless we've got some real serious arguments here to be had, we're going to go through the second round a little quicker so we can get to the Elite Eight and not drag this too out. So we're bouncing back. Here we go. The Pixar bracket. The number 1 seed, Toy Story, versus the scientifically deemed superior number 9 seed, WALL-E. Brett, what say you?
Toy Story.
All right, Craig?
Toy Story. WALL-E should have never been there.
Anna?
Toy Story.
Shade. Okay.
Vanessa?
Toy Story.
All right. Donna?
Toy Story.
Yeah, and I'm closing that out. Yeah, that's a clean sweep for Toy Story. It only takes a moment for WALL-E to get its ass kicked. Anyway, moving along. Sorry, I swore on the
That was
Beyond.
funny.
Me
That
your
was so
bottom.
funny.
Moving
I
right
enjoyed it.
along.
It was clever.
Okay, the number 2 seed, Finding Nemo, versus the number 10 seed, Coco. Does Coco's Cinderella story continue? Anna, what say you?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. All right. Craig?
Finding Nemo. I like that little fish.
Vanessa?
Finding Nemo.
Nemo. Donna?
Nemo.
Nemo. Brett?
Finding Nemo.
Woo! I'm going to be the contrarian, and I'm actually going to go with Coco. I actually was more emotionally invested and affected by Coco than I was Finding Nemo. So it doesn't matter, but it's going to prevent the clean sweep. But Nemo advances, and it's going to take on the winner of the not the number 3 seed, because it got beat by a 14 seed. But we're going to go to this side anyway. The number 14 seed, The Cinderella Story, Monsters, Inc. versus the number 6 seed, Inside Out. Craig, what say you?
If anybody votes for Monsters, Inc., I'm, Inside Out.
But you know what I'm gonna do.
Well, then, what are you going to do, Brett?
Same.
Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Woo. Monsters, Inc. Vanessa, then?
I haven't seen it.
Monsters Inc. What? Bring it.
Roz would be
Alright.
very happy about that.
Donna?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Oh, this is a heartbreaker for me because Monsters, Inc. is like my favorite song to dance with my daughter.
Think about that daughter.
But
Think about her.
but here's I am
about
thinking about her. I'm thinking about her because Inside Out is the first movie I ever took my daughter to see in a
and
theater.
she's basically
And-
Riley at this age, right? No, Riley's younger.
She's teenage Riley at this point.
Teenage Riley.
Let's be honest. Oh, I love it. I love the song, but I love the movie more. I'm going with Inside Out. Anna, it's down to you. Do we have a tie, or is Inside Out winning?
Inside Out is winning.
All right. So Inside Out advances. And our last matchup in the Elite Eight in the Pixar region, the number 4 seed Toy Story 3 versus the number 5 seed Cars.
Do we have to do this?
I mean,
Yeah,
Toy Story
we
3.
just
I'm gonna count to
Thanks.
I'm gonna count to 3. If anybody's voting Cars, say Cars. 3, 2, 1.
Cars.
You're awful.
Are you
You're
serious?
terrible.
Okay. So that is 5-1. Toy Story 3 to Cars. And I'm assuming, Brett, this is just because you haven't seen Toy Story 3.
No, I've seen Toy Story 3.
Oh, that's
So
right.
I haven't seen Inside Out.
Okay,
It was
sorry.
Toy Story 3 that traumatized me to the point that I cannot see.
Okay.
Inside Out.
Fair enough. All right. Wow, we got through that quickly. Good job, everyone. All right. Moving back over to the Disney animation side, the number 1 seed, The Lion King, versus the number 8 seed, Tangled. Craig, how about you?
Sorry, Rapunzel not gonna make it. Lion King.
Anna?
In your
Ooh, I'm gonna cancel your vote, Tangle.
Woo!
Tangled.
House divided.
Yeah.
All right. Vanessa, how about you?
Lion King.
Lion King, 2 votes for Lion King.
Hakuna Matata there, Vanessa.
Brett?
Tangled.
Tangled. I'm going to say this. If I had a choice to sit down and watch one of these 2 movies right now, it'd be Tangled.
Right.
I know, because Lion King would put you to sleep.
Look, Lion King is epic and it's historic and it made a lot of money, and we wouldn't have Disney today if it wasn't. I get that. It's got the Broadway musical. It's got all that. I'm telling you, you're all sleeping on Tangled. It's getting my vote.
Oh, Donna.
Tangled.
Woo!
Oh my God.
Yes.
Whoa.
Oh, there are so many Disney files listening right now that have just thrown their devices across the room.
They're just gorging on Mickey.
No,
bars
we've
right
all
now.
seen the light.
Yes.
Just
Tangled, the number 8 seed, taking down a one seed goes down.
I'm gonna
All right.
send Brett a turkey leg after this.
Oh,
Yes, do it.
All right, moving over to
we
the
have
other
to talk
side.
about that.
The number 2 seed, Beauty and the Beast, versus the number 10 seed, The Princess and the Frog. Brett, what say you?
Beauty and the Beast.
Hey, he sees reason.
All right, Vanessa, how about you?
Beauty and the Beast.
Anna
Beauty and the Beast.
and Craig.
Beauty and the Beast.
Donna.
I love Princess and the Frog, but Beauty and the Beast is way back. I had that on VHS and would just watch that thing over and over again.
Yeah, I agree. I personally think it's a number 1 seed over Lion King, even though Lion King's like the big money maker. I think it's the one that I think still holds up. I think it holds up better than Lion King does. I do love Princess and the Frog. If you haven't seen it in a while, I really encourage you to check it out. It's a wonderful movie, but against Beauty and the Beast, sorry, can't do it. All right, now we've got 2 very tight matchups. I think these are some very interesting ones. Let's do with that famed matchup. Not good, too good for the opening round, but good enough for the Sweet 16. The number 3 seed, Frozen, versus the number 6 seed, Moana. Brett, how about you?
Frozen.
All right. And Vanessa?
In my heart of hearts, I know it's Frozen. So.
Ooh. Okay. Craig?
I love you so much, Vanessa.
I got
Me too.
I got a lot of, like, this is the one that got me so much hate, because in the first round of that bracket, I had said Frozen, and I'm sticking by that vote because Frozen had such a cultural impact that even though Disney has kind of overdone it in the parks and everywhere else, it still is one of the best put together musicals. It proved that you don't need a Prince Charming to save the day. These 2 sisters could love each other enough to melt any Frozen heart. So it's got to be Frozen.
All right. Anna, how about you?
I completely agree. Frozen.
Frozen. All right. Donna?
Moana.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm with you. I'll be honest. I just think Moana's a better made movie. I think it tells I think it tells its story better. I don't think it has as many kind of stray away, go nowhere plots. I'm looking at you, trolls. So
I mean, it's got the coconut guys. What the hell are they?
Yeah.
They don't
thought for sure was merchandise.
Question mark.
they don't get a whole 7-minute musical number that eats up time in the movie.
They get a whole scene that's worthless.
So I think, but no, I hear what you're saying.
I wanted the coconut. I wanted the merchandise.
I can't believe that they didn't make a coconut.
I know.
head.
It's
I know.
They
Come
do
on,
have
Disney.
little coconuts.
Do they have a little?
Yeah, you can buy Moana with the little coconuts and you turn their tops.
Well,
and
but
their
I
faces.
want like a coconut I can drink out of.
I wanted
but when
Tsum
I'm
Tsum.
done, it turns
A
to like
Tsum Tsum.
a mad face.
So I love I think Moana's a better movie. But I understand the cultural impact of Frozen is just
Frohana.
Froana. We'll mix it up. It's Froana.
Sounds like a Vitamix drink.
Yeah.
But Frozen is advancing 4-2 over Moana and closing out the Sweet 16. The number 4 seed, The Little Mermaid, versus the number 5 seed, Aladdin. Then I'll let you start, my love.
That's
No.
You haven't started in a while. I'm going to let you go.
Oh, I have to go with Aladdin.
You sound
so
very,
sad.
you're very pained by this.
It's like you have to kill one of your children.
All right. Craig, how about you?
I show a lot of deference to Little Mermaid. It started it all, but Robin Williams in Aladdin, it trumps everything there. So I've got to go with Aladdin.
Okay. Anna, you're shaking your head.
Little Mermaid. It's just more of my film.
All right. And Vanessa.
Aladdin.
Ooh. All right. And Brett.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Okay. Ooh. I am not going to have to be a tiebreaker. So I am going to give my vote. I'm going to give my vote to Aladdin. Because what the heck? No, I think ultimately, The Little Mermaid has a better soundtrack easily. If we're just talking music, it's clearly Mermaid, but the story of Aladdin, I think, is better. And Robin Williams' performance as the genie's iconic, which this is the first time we've used that word on a bracket podcast. We're like an hour in and we just said iconic. So
you're not Jeremy, but that's his.
Has Jeremy trademarked that?
So, okay.
His ears are burning right now as we say iconic.
All right. It's moving on. Now here we are. We're down to the Elite Eight. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. Back over on the Pixar side, we have the number 1 seed Toy Story versus the number 4 seed Toy Story 3. Brett, we'll start with you on this one.
Toy Story, the original.
Yes. Okay. Anna, how about you?
Toy Story, no competition.
Ooh, interesting. Craig, you seem to.
I mean, yeah, Toy Story started it all, but there's something to be said about a perfect ending, and Toy Story 3 was a perfect ending, which is why I don't like that they're doing Toy Story 4, but Toy Story 3.
All right,
Vanessa. Oh,
Toy Story.
His bears in the stores, they smell like strawberries.
I have no sense of smell.
All right. Toy Story. Okay, so Donna, Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3.
Yes.
I have to. I'm right there with you. I agree. For the cultural impact, obviously, you don't get a Toy Story 3 if the first Toy Story isn't great, but I think Toy Story 3 perfects.
Better movie.
It's just a better movie. It's a better movie, and everybody talks about the scene, in the trash bin, but to me, the most emotional moment, like you said, Craig, is those last 5 minutes of the film. I think is as good as anything you're going to see in any movie. And you're right. It is a perfect ending, and it makes me so conflicted because I want more Toy Story in my life, but I also love
like old Buster, seeing him, like he's hilarious.
Yeah, like the toys get this wonderful, they almost get like this curtain call moment that's just so beautiful. And to see, the little girl, who's Bonnie, thank you, playing with those, like, I'm gonna get emotional. So
that's a tie.
That is a tie. So I have been keeping track. Toy Story received 6 votes in the first round, 6 votes in the second round, and 3 votes in the third round for a total of 15 votes.
And Brett voted against it a bunch.
Toy Story 3 received 4 votes in the first round, 5 votes in the second round, and 3 votes in the third round. Aww. That is a total of 12. Toy Story advances in the tiebreaker.
I'm okay with that.
Over Toy Story 3.
Wow.
I wrote
oh my
3.
gosh, really?
It does. It advances by our tiebreaker technology. Your insistence on voting against Toy Story 3 at every turn has finally paid off.
It has paid off.
You're welcome.
No. If you were Scott, you'd be convincing us all that you rigged this bracket for your will. So, all right. And moving along to the other Elite Eight matchup in the Pixar round, Finding Nemo, the number 2 seed versus the number 6 seed, Inside Out. I'll start this one, and I still love Inside Out. It gets me every single time. I agree with you, Craig. I think it's maybe the pinnacle of storytelling for Pixar. it's getting my vote 100%. Donna, how about you?
Inside Out.
All right. Brett?
I'll be watching Inside Out tomorrow. What was the other option? Oh yeah, that Finding Nemo. Wasn't that it?
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
That yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Vanessa.
I think I read your lips because I didn't hear you, so I think it's me.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Finding Nemo. I still feel like I know y'all really like Inside Out and you think it's the pinnacle, whatever. But Finding Nemo was so different. I mean, a fish that forgets. How do you write a plot about a fish that just keeps forgetting things? What they did was so amazing. So Finding Nemo.
And she speaks whale.
And she speaks whale.
Which
Orca.
is so little orca-ish. It's a little
Yeah.
orca-ish.
All right. It's down to House McFarland. Anna, let's start with you. Finding Nemo or Inside Out?
I have to go with your idea of which one I would put in and watch over and over. So solely based on that, it would have to be Finding Nemo.
Woo. And Craig.
So here's the deal. And Finding Nemo is a wonderful piece, but if you think about it, the titular character is hardly in that movie at all. But
That's the whole point.
The thing about truly Inside Out is such a complex movie. It's so well done. The voice acting is so perfect for it. And I have a trump card in saying Bing Bong. That's all I need to say because there's a lot of spoilers there for Brett.
I already know.
Bing Bong.
Okay.
Bing Bong.
All right. So
if I am an emotional wreck the next time you see me, it's because I've seen Inside Out and my insides will be out.
So we yet again another tie. So Finding Nemo.
Oh no.
Received.
Craig, I hope you win.
I voted against it in the first round. So
yeah, that may come back to bite you because Finding Nemo received 5 votes in the first round, 5 votes in the second round, and 3 votes in the third round for a total of 13 votes. Inside Out received 4 votes in the first round, 4 votes in the second round, 3 votes in the third round. So only by a score of 13-11, Finding Nemo advances.
So seriously, both of my movies, my favorite Pixar movies, are out.
Correct.
As throwing more shade the whole night.
I'm going to quit this podcast.
All right. So let's move over to the animated round. Tangled.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to enjoy that.
That's okay. We drink on tears here at the brackets. That's what happened.
And we got Tangled in the Elite Eight instead of you people are crazy.
All right. It is in the Elite Eight. And it's taking on Aladdin. So, Craig, can I just mark you down for Tangled right now?
Actually, between the two of them, it is closer than you... Like, Lion King, it's obviously Lion King. I go Tangled.
Whoa!
Because it, like, so much, like, Aladdin should win that pretty easily, and the fact that it's not means that I would go ahead and I should go with Tangled.
All right. And Anna, how about you?
Tangled.
Tangled. Woo! Oh boy, we are Cinderella story here. Vanessa, what do you say?
Aladdin.
Aladdin gets the vote. Brett, and you?
Aladdin.
Whew. All right. Oh, it's down to house hair. So Donna, Tangled or Aladdin?
This is tough. I guess I'm gonna have to go old school and go Aladdin.
Woo. Aladdin. Hey, you know what? We're having so much fun with ties. I gave such a passionate response for Tangled. It would seem disingenuous to not give it at least a fighting chance because I still would argue, Robin Williams aside, Tangled's probably a more consistently better movie. I'll just say it.
Which would you rather watch tonight?
Tangled.
Okay.
I think I still would. I like Aladdin.
Yeah.
I think I think Aladdin's really good. But I'll say that. So, okay. So, Tangled receives 6 votes in the first round, 4 votes in the second round, and 3 votes in the third round for a total score of 13. Aladdin received 6 votes in the first round, 5 votes in the second round, 3 votes in the third round. So by a score of 14 to 13, did I say that? Yes, 14 to 13, Aladdin advances over Tangled. But we made it sweat. So, all right. And moving over to the final spot in the final 4. This is some big guns here. Beauty and the Beast versus Frozen. Donna, can you start this one, or do you need a minute?
I again have to go back to growing up and just loving this movie so much. Beauty and the Beast. Again,
right.
Old school wins.
All right, Brett, how about you?
Frozen, because the message and the cultural impact and the music is astounding and the animation is amazing, and I cosplay Kristoff.
And he looks perfectly like Kristoff. By the way.
All right. So it's 1-1. Vanessa, you look flummoxed.
I don't know. Can you come back to me? I'm like having to examine myself as a person, and it's taking time.
All right. Okay. So let's. I'm gonna say I do. Like I said, I do think Frozen is such a juggernaut. But I do think. Look, I think Beauty and the Beast is just a consistently better movie. I think the messages in Frozen are better than the messages in Beauty and the Beast. But I just think as far as filmmaking is concerned, Beauty and the Beast just tells a better story and does it more effectively. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast. All right, Vanessa, have you...
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Frozen. I can't believe I just said that. Just go, keep going.
All right, moving along. All right, Craig and Anna, it's down to you. 2 votes for Beauty and the Beast, 2 votes for Frozen. Are we gonna have our 4th tie?
Yeah, well, so yes, Frozen is the highest grossing animated film ever made. However, if you think about the opening number, Belle, in Beauty and the Beast, it was such a revolutionary idea to open an animated feature as a Broadway musical number, and that's what they did. And Howard Ashman and Alan Menken really brought that to life. And I know that Jeremy is currently lurking and watching us right now, and he is going to kill me if I don't say I'm voting for Beauty and the Beast. It makes the most sense. It's just it's a tale as old as time.
All right.
That's a great catchphrase.
Anna, will you be forcing the tie, or will you be sending Beauty and the Beast to the final 4?
I do really enjoy Frozen, but I have to go Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my top movies ever.
At least I got one.
Because it's one of my top movies ever, I have to go with it.
Yay, Glenn Keane.
All right. So here we are, folks. We're down to the final 4. We made it. We have... On the Pixar side, by the way, I should mention this, for all the hand-wringing, all of the high seeds are still in play with the exception of 1. The Lion King's the only number 1 seed. We've got a 1 versus a 2 in the Pixar round, and we have a 5 versus a 2 in the animation round. So let's start off with our 1 versus 2. It is Toy Story versus Finding Nemo. Not the matchup I would have gone with, but this is why we have a panel. So let's start with Brett. What do you say?
Toy Story.
All right.
Are you kidding me? You're going to go Toy Story after you got my Inside Out of here? Oh, Brett.
Apparently so.
All right. So Toy Story, and how about Craig?
I'm gonna go with Inside Out. No, I think between the two of them, the tiebreaker being the Finding Nemo musical at Walt Disney World. It's quite wonderful. And it's a dad story. It's about a dad finding his son. So got to go with Finding Nemo in this one.
Okay, and Anna?
Finding Nemo.
All right. Vanessa?
This is a lot harder than I thought it would be.
It's not as hard as I have to watch Inside Out tomorrow.
I will. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Toy Story. It was the first. It was really life-changing. Toy Story.
All right, Donna?
If we were voting Toy Story 3, I would be voting Toy Story. But since we're not, I'm voting Finding Nemo.
What?
Oh.
Are you? Oh,
Lou, it comes down to you.
I don't even know you.
The first one, yeah, it was.
First one. First.
Okay.
Pixar.
Well, here.
First fully animated,
All right.
digital.
So I'm going to say this. Toy Story to me is the number one for the reason. If I have to consider this a vote for the whole franchise, I will. I think Toy Story we don't get Pixar without it. And it tells such a great story. And the first one is still great. And Finding Nemo, I think, is fine. But I don't have that connection that I do to Toy Story. I just don't. Maybe because of, in this one rare case, I'll pick Tim Allen over Ellen DeGeneres. But yeah.
Can I take back all my votes against Finding Nemo? Because I feel like that's going to be the decider here.
Well, it is going to be the decider because it is 3-3, Toy Story versus Finding Nemo. So Toy Story swept the first round with 6 votes, got 6 in the second round, 3 in the third round, and 3 in this last round for a total score of 18. Finding Nemo, only 5 in the first round, 5 in the second round, 3 in the third round, and 3 in the final 4. It goes down. Toy Story advances 18-16. Toy Story is in the finals.
In the finals? The winner?
No, it's the winner of the Pixar side.
Oh, are they going to go?
It is. We've got one. We'll have one more to go after this. It is the winner of. But yes, let's take a moment and appreciate Toy Story wins the Pixar bracket. And it's going to go up against the winner.
Because apparently they haven't done anything better since the first one. Come on, people.
And that gets us to 2 movies with no sequels, no franchises behind them, unless you want to count some direct to DVDs. Well, Aladdin, I guess you know what? I misspoke. Excuse me. You're gonna.
Aladdin's got like 3 of them, haven't they?
Direct again. The direct to video cash grabs, I guess, count. Sure. But yes, Aladdin, the number 5 seed, taking on the number 2 seed, Beauty and the Beast. I'll start, and I will say I think this is going to be a sweep. But so I'm going to say Beauty and the Beast again. It's a near sketchy messages about Stockholm Syndrome aside. I think it's a near perfect film, and it's just has such wonderful music, and it's a beautiful movie too. I don't think we talked about how great the animation is. I think it's head and shoulders above Aladdin. It gets my vote. Vanessa, how about you?
I'll say Beauty and the Beast.
All right, Beauty and the Beast. It's going to advance, or it's getting another vote. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Brett, how about you?
Aladdin.
Sorry.
Aladdin. All right.
I have a lot of Beauty and the Beast baggage, so I'm sorry. It is, yes, yeah.
All right. All right. And Donna, how about you?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. All right. So what say the McFarlanes? Is Beauty and the Beast advancing, or are we gonna force a tie?
I will always vote Beauty and the Beast, so Beauty and the Beast it is.
Craig?
It's got to be Beauty and the Beast. I'm sorry, Brett. It's just it's a phenomenal, phenomenal movie, and sets up a final amongst some wonderful inanimate objects that happen to be animate.
All right, so
and it was hand drawn, wasn't it?
It was hand drawn.
It was hand drawn, with the exception of the
Chandelier,
ballroom,
right?
Ballroom scene.
Yes,
and Glenn Keane was brilliant in that, doing the Beast. He was the animator for the Beast.
So that's going to get us, and if I can bring it up right now, and again, I apologize to our editor-in-chief, Jeremy, who's doing a great job of updating these brackets for us, but again, this is what happens when old men run computers. I'm going to try to share what I see right now for our updated brackets. We will take a moment, because we have one final decision to make, and that is who's going to go all the way. And it's down between Beauty and the Beast, the winner of the Disney animation bracket, versus Toy Story, the winner of the Disney Pixar bracket. Two great movies. I think a very worthy finals. So let's start with Anna. What do you say?
I said I was always going to vote Beauty and the Beast, so I have to hold true, and that is true. So Beauty and the Beast.
All right, Craig.
There's just something about that movie that it brings out a lot of like classic Disney feeling, along with just wonderful storytelling, wonderful music. It's definitely the best musical they've ever produced. And so I've got to go with Beauty and the Beast. And also, if you asked me, do I want to go spend time in Toy Story Midway Mania, or do I want to go have food at Be Our Guest? I'm going to Be Our Guest.
All right. Brett, how about you?
Beauty and the Beast.
We finally agree on one.
All right. I'm going to show some love and try to make this a little bit closer. I came to Beauty and the Beast late. I didn't see it when I was a child because I was, like a 12 or 13-year-old boy and didn't have any desire to sit through a movie called Beauty and the Beast. So I discovered Toy Story first, so I fell in love with that movie first. I've grown to love Beauty and the Beast as a parent. But Toy Story is one of those movies. That whole franchise is something that I love and adore. And as somebody who maybe prefers Pixar over Disney animation, I'm gonna go Team Pixar here and vote for Toy Story. Vanessa, how about you?
I will. I'm gonna go with what 5-year-old Vanessa would want, which is Beauty and the Beast. So that's what I'm going with. Although I think we may have lost our friends.
Yes, I think that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're coming back, I think.
Yeah, they're coming back. So we can edit this. Actually, Jeremy can edit this since he's the one listening to it. Hi, Jeremy.
They're frozen.
Elsa, what are you doing?
So are we on? Okay, yeah, my collection. These are things that were given to me up here at the top. So let's see. That was on Main Street. The Donald Duck thing was on Main Street during the Donald Duck parade.
See them.
Oh, can't.
Uh-oh. They came on and then they left again.
There.
Ooh, that's really neat, Brett.
Sorry.
We had a lot of Elsa Frozen jokes while you were gone because you froze.
Okay, so I'm going to, because we froze right before I got Vanessa's vote, so I'm just going to do a reset real quick and count down, and that will be our edit point. Good thing we didn't go live. This is why I don't go live, because our internet is not sometimes the most reliable. Okay, so whatever amazing thing you had to say, Vanessa, just repeat all of that.
It was profound.
I'm sure. All right, so I'll count you down here, and
I will go with Beauty and the Beast.
All right. So that's that we have one vote left. Donna, what do you say? Would you go Beauty and the Beast as well?
I would. I'm sorry, baby.
Oh, well, it's okay. If it had to go down, it had to go down to Beauty and the Beast. I'm okay with that. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the Disney Pixar bracket, Beauty and the Beast, a 5-1 victory over Toy Story. I'd be curious to know if Toy Story 3 advances, is it closer? Craig, would you have switched?
There's a I could see myself switching if Toy Story 3 would have advanced. If Inside Out would have made it, I would have absolutely voted for Inside Out over Beauty and the Beast.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you for joining us. We will get the completed brackets up on our Facebook page so you can see how we voted. Once this podcast goes up, we will put these up. But in the meantime, go to our Facebook page, find the brackets, and fill them out yourselves and tell us where you fall. And after you hear us, please join us in the comments section. Tell us how insane we are that Tangled went as far as it did, or that Toy Story made it over Toy Story 3, or any other of the wacky decisions that we made. So before we get out of here, Craig, do you got any plugs for us?
Absolutely. So we had a great response to our Disney Foods episode that we just did, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a general tips about booking a vacation at Walt Disney World, and that will be coming up to you here in the next month. And then hopefully in the not too distant future, we can get Lou back on to do Tangled as well, because I think that is a film that needs a little bit further examination, and maybe one of you can convince me to finally see Princess and the Frog, because I still haven't seen it. So
it's so good.
Yeah, so I will have to check it out.
Is it on Netflix?
No.
I don't think it is. If it was, I definitely would have seen it by now. I mean, I haven't been avoiding it like some people have with other Pixar films that we've talked about tonight.
Who would that be?
But no, thank you so much for putting this all together, Lou. We really appreciate it. You can tell that Disney films just have a certain place in our hearts, and that's why we love to do the podcast that we do. So, of course, like Lou said, follow us on social media, and always check us out at thefrontrowmoviereviews.com or anything that the Front Row Network does. And check out Guilty Pleasures, too. If you're a normal listener of Beyond the Mouse, Guilty Pleasures are hilarious. So go check those out. He just had Kyle Carter on from the Analog Arcade Bar talking about Mario Brothers. Hilarious episode. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, and June's episode is it's a double feature. Just in time for Father's Day, we are covering the 3 Men and a Baby franchise.
That's perfect.
3 Men and a Baby and 3 Men and a Little Lady. So that's coming out. You can hear that hopefully by Father's Day. We hope to record and get that out to you as soon as we can. But yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for letting me do these brackets. And like I said, if you want to send me some hate tweets, you can follow me at @TheFakeLouHair.
So how are you going to orchestrate us all saying our names correctly on a 6-person hangout?
I think we just go for it.
Okay, let's try it.
Just one at a time. Well, Jeremy can edit that.
How about we do this? We'll go alpha. If we're all paying attention, I think we can all go alphabetically.
I'm trying to think. Okay.
All right.
That's me. I'm Anna McFarland.
Hey, yeah.
And for the Front Row,
I'm Anna McFarland.
I'm Brett Rutherford.
I'm Craig McFarland.
I'm Donna Hare.
I'm Lou Hare.
And I'm Vanessa Ferguson.
And we will see you real soon in the Front Row. That was so much fun, guys.
All right.